PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan needs to get off my lawn.
You liar.
After announcing that the PGA Tour will form a new partnership with the Saudi Arabian-backed owners of LIV Golf, Commissioner Monahan stated, "I understand that many will call me a hypocrite, and I accept that." Well, there's nothing worse I can say about you than you haven't already said about yourself. For more context, the PGA Tour is a nonprofit organization, even though somehow it makes a bunch of money. And the tour will now create a new for-profit LLC with the Public Investment Fund, which is the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia and the owner of LIV Golf. This partnership, which everyone is making sure to reiterate, is not a merger, despite the fact that all the parties are merging, will end all pending litigation, which means the PGA Tour won't have its books opened in court, which is likely the reason a deal was ultimately made. While this seems complicated on the surface, it's quite simple at the root. Saudi Arabia wanted an equity stake in professional golf. The PGA Tour wouldn't play ball. So the Saudis created LIV Golf and paid players guaranteed fortunes, even though all they really needed to do was pay players not to play PGA golf. Perhaps it was inevitable for Saudi Arabia to gain market share in American golf. But that doesn't change the fact that Jay Monahan showed a complete lack of leadership during this process and turned his back on the players who refused multi-million-dollar deals to remain loyal to the tour. Not to mention, he led the charge in criticizing Saudi Arabia for its role in the 9/11 terrorist attacks, only to turn a complete 180 this week and forget about all that faster than that chick from 50 First Dates. Now, our boss Ben Shapiro put it well when he said, "It is awkward to basically rip your potential business partners as terrorist supporters, then make a deal with them and expect no one to notice." Some are applauding this move, saying that the best players in the world will now get to play against each other. You mean just like they were doing 10 months ago? No one has been able to explain why hostile takeover by a foreign regime is good for the game of golf. Now, I remain hopeful that the game will continue to prosper despite or because of this historic moment. And at least for now, we'll still have the four majors to watch. But I'm convinced golf would be better served if Jay Monahan, rather than issuing a 2-page statement, would issue a 2-word statement. I resign. And on your way out, stay off my lawn.
Bars.
All right, boys, let's talk about it.
Look, all right, we want people to call in. We want to talk about everything. It's 1-855-236-3228. But here's the deal. Let's just be honest, okay? When you get to these huge money makers, whether it be corporations, entities, whatever, morality is a pawn, okay? Money is what matters. That's what matters. So they will use, and I thought Robbie Starbuck, our guest yesterday, said it best. I mean, they will use your own morality against you. But when it comes down to it, this is about money. Jay Monahan played, and again, whenever you start a phrase with, "I know some will call me a hypocrite," probably a hypocrite. I mean, that's just how it works. You're projecting. But at the end of the day, the Saudis went the long way around getting a stake in the PGA. That's what this is, okay? They couldn't get it on the short term, so they got it, the long way around. I don't want to hear anything else ever again from the PGA, okay, about morality or any. Look, we can talk about pimento and cheese sandwiches, fathers and sons in the Masters. That's great, okay? But at the end of the day, you said one thing and you did something else. And to quote that fat guy with the glasses from The Ringer, why you talk different than you did before? Well,
so FD, this is what I found interesting. I was thinking, it didn't dawn on me until this week because I've been criticizing LIV Golf just as a structure. Because LIV has been saying, and Greg Norman, who's the face of that now, has been saying, we have a superior product and we're going to change golf forever. And a lot of golf fans are looking like, what are you talking about? Because you wear shorts on the golf course and you play 54 holes instead of 72 holes. Like, I don't understand why that's going to change golf. What I realized this week is, really, Saudi Arabia has so much money, they could have just taken and poached the PGA players and paid them fortunes to not play golf at all. And it would have done the exact same thing because here's what's interesting. We had talked about this as being PGA and LIV Golf merger. And, Rory McIlroy will play some of his statements. They're saying, well, it's not really a merger with them. Well, it's a merger with the company that owns LIV Golf. So what's going to happen to those guys? That's what I want to know is like, Is LIV Golf as a brand now done with? And this new thing, which has yet to be named, is that going to just be the PGA Tour players and the LIV golfers have to somehow like find their way in? I don't know, but it's all weird.
None of this makes sense to me. Like, it really, like, the one thing I feel bad is all the guys who turned down that money.
I don't feel bad.
They offered Tiger Woods 3 solar systems to come play over there, right? Like, and now, like, if it's me, like, you look back on it, I would have taken that money now. You kind of got screwed. You lost out on a lot. Phil's getting paid, in gold to go be average every weekend, and nobody's watching. I hate the LIV Tour. I'm on the same boat as Rory. I don't want to see your knees out there playing. I don't want to see the guy who wears the mask, little head on DJing on the first hole. All right, there's a certain level of class, a certain level of of this class and gentleman, just golf that I enjoy watching. It makes golf. I'm not a big Rory guy. I've never been a big Rory guy. I think he's kind of a whiny baby. He's kind of a whiny baby his whole career. But I somewhat agree with him. It's come to this LIV stuff. I don't think it's a good look. I don't think it's a good fit. And I wonder, like, if the LIV guys weren't winning, right? Because Brooks won. Right, if they weren't winning, if this would have happened.
Well, those
do you think do you think LIV's gone?
Majors are completely separate. I know from a PR perspective, but yeah, they're their own thing, right? So you're not going to be able to keep those guys from playing in the major championship.
This was about scaring the PGA so much that they had to do a deal with them. And think about the power you have, all right, when you have that type of money and they're sitting there calling you terrorists, and then you scare them so bad, all right, not that you're going to blow them up, but that you're going to blow up their product, that they have to do a deal with you, all right? Not only that, but the guys who took the money on the front end, it was smart. It was smart. And we're going to play this Rory clip, and I can't stand Rory. I don't feel bad for Rory. I don't feel bad for Jordan Spieth. Just like I don't feel bad for Brian Harson, okay? You're rich. Shut up. You made a stupid decision. But let's play this Rory clip.
You know, you and many other golfers were offered substantial amounts of money to join LIV.
I was never offered any money.
My apologies. Should the golfers who maybe stayed loyal and turned down LIV, should they be made whole financially?
I mean, the simple answer is yes. The complex answer is how does that happen? Mm-hmm. Right? And that's all gray area and up in the air at the minute. But yeah, there's, it's hard for me to not sit up here and feel somewhat like a sacrificial lamb and, feeling like I've put myself out there and this is what happens. Again, removing myself from the situation, I see how this is better for the game of golf. There's no denying that. But for me as an individual, yeah, there's just going to have to be conversations that are had.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with the sacrificial lamb part because he put himself out there and he remained loyal and Jay Monahan was disloyal to him. But on the first part, if you weren't offered any money from LIV Golf, then why should you be made whole?
Our sponsor, Nugenix Total T, is offering a complimentary bottle when you text 231-231 and enter keyword Crain. That's C-R-A-I-N. So you go to your phone, computer, machine. All right, you open up the text message app. All right, for the number, you put 231-231, and then you go to the message part, and you type in C-R-A-I-N, okay? Because as men age, we lose free testosterone, the man hormone. Yeah, that's right, I said it. We lose that fire. It's harder to feel as alive, as energetic, and to be as active. Remember when you were dominating in pickup basketball? Now you're like Udonis Haslem. You just take one shot a game and then go and wait for your team to try and get back on the court. It's even harder to stay in shape. Now you can get that old fire back with Nugenix. With excuse me, as I choke to death live on air. Nugenix Total T Testosterone Booster helps you turn back the clock and re-energize your workouts. It's a Benjamin Button situation. All right, they have key man-boosting ingredients like Testofen, which has been validated in 5 clinical studies and backed by years of research, like the origins of Flaming Dragon. And unlike other products that use generic ingredients, which are far less clinical grade, Nugenix Total T gives you the same potency levels. So text keyword Crain, that's C-R-A-I-N, to 231-231 for a complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Text now. It's my favorite part of any ad read. I did play favorites. And you'll also get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix Thermo, their most powerful fat incinerator ever. Absolutely 3. And that fat is out of here, mister.
Man, ever since Flaming started taking that, and he's transformed before our eyes.
He has. Look at him. Looks like Popeye. All right, text keyword Crain, C-R-A-I-N, to 231-231. That's keyword Crain to 231-231. And you'll be back in the game. Stop being embarrassed when you take your shirt off. You had a chance to make a business decision, and well, you didn't, but the other guys did, and some of them took it, and some of them didn't take it. In the stock market, all of a sudden the stock goes down. I don't have somebody calling me and saying, "Oh, hey man, well, thanks for not jumping ship and going to another financial advisor. I'm just going to pay you all the money that we lost in the stock market."
It's funny you talk about stock.
That's not how it works.
That's how I see this, as a legitimate hostile takeover. When you have a corporation and you offer so much money for it that the shareholders basically, they would make such a profit that the board has to accept that. This is kind of like an indirect hostile takeover.
That's exactly what it was.
So much money that Saudi Arabia wants to throw at professional golf in order to be involved in the game that eventually Jay Monahan's just like, what else is there to do? You know, and maybe it would have happened to any commissioner, but this was just a poor lack of leadership.
You're better off just not saying anything.
I don't think if you're the PGA, you didn't have to do this. I really don't think you did. I think the LIV was trash. How many holes of golf did y'all watch LIV?
Yeah, none.
None. Zero. I had no desire at all. Watched the hell out of the PGA. Nobody watched the LIV Tour. So I think you didn't have to do this. I think in the long run, you'd have been better without this. I think you still have your key guys, your core guys that you need in the PGA, and the younger crowd's going to come into the PGA. So I think the LIV would have faded away. Most of your guys are older. You do have some good young people.
So you just said wait them out.
Yeah, for sure.
You said wait them out.
That's what everybody thought was going to happen. That's why this was the most historic day in golf in our lifetime.
Well, hey, YouTube, thanks for checking us out. Make sure, if you haven't figured it out yet, we do a live weekday sports show every weekday. How about that? Allow myself to introduce myself. You can find it 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. That's 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. And if you turn that notification bell on, then you can find every time we drop content.